What's up, boys? We're back with some more yet another Zombie Survivors for the massive .7 update. We've got some cool synergies planned today. We're mainly going Ghost with Shurikens, so the synergy with Engineer here adds extra electric damage, and then that's just a bit of healing when the Ghost kills stuff. The main thing, however, is that whenever the medic throws her damage ability, the Experiment 21, it has a chance to fire a bunch of free Shurikens. So we're going to go medic as well. We're starting with the Ghost, since he's sort of our main damage. And then let's go over here. And for badges, we're just getting some cooldown reduction, survivability, movement speed. I don't have a ton of points for these yet, so we're just kind of grabbing whatever. So we're stacking ability cooldown on the medic so that she will constantly throw the experiments, which will then proc the shurikens from the Ghost. And then we're going to be stacking damage on the Ghost himself, since all the procs will be coming from him. And then we're just grabbing Engineer for the bonus electric synergy on the shurikens, and a bunch of other nice stuff. I'm going to start out pretty weak with a melee weapon on a caster build. Here's our shuriken. We need to get the levels on that up quickly so that we can evolve it, and so that all of our proc damage will go up as well. We can grab the Kunai Dance, that has some decent AoE and also has another synergy with the Engineer. We're not really going to build around that one, but it will still be a decent little boost once we get to that point. More Kunai. More Shuriken. So the evolution for the Shuriken that I'm looking for causes it to bounce between enemies a ton of times. However, you only throw one at a time. But the neat thing about the medic synergy is that when you proc the free Shurikens, there doesn't seem to be a downside to that. You still trigger a bunch of them at the same time. So you can get around the downside to the Ghost evolution a bit by using the medic to proc a bunch of them. So we're looking for a medic and engineer. I'll probably use some rerolls here. There's the engineer. So we'll already have a bit of electric damage on them. Does that add a tag or anything to it? Looks like it's still just slashing. But it should trigger the electrify effect now, which is a chance to stun. And then once you get a bunch of tags for it, there's a small chance to do a bit of damage on it as well. Let's grab... Oh, this is the shuriken I was talking about. It only throws one, but it bounces up to 15 times. But once we have the medic triggering a bunch of them, we'll have a ton of them bouncing all over the place. So we do want the electric turret because the synergy triggers that when they fade. So that should be a pretty nice boost as well. We now want to try and get the evolution for the Kunai for a bit of a boost to that synergy as well. Rare armor, that's always nice to have. Do we want to banish anything here? I think I might like crit chance for the weapons later on. There's a cool item for that that reduces your ability cooldowns when you crit with a weapon. EMP has a nice evolution as well that reduces the cooldown of another ability whenever it explodes, so that seems fantastic for any ability-based build like this. We will take more Kunai since that's close to the evolution. Man, those turrets start off really small. Okay, so they explode on impact, or they're thrown twice and deal additional chemical damage. We do have some decent chemical synergy with the medic, and throwing them twice just sounds extremely good anyways. And chemical is a damage over time plus slow debuff. So extra survivability, extra damage. And I believe it spreads to nearby enemies when it fades. Ooh, ability area for every 10% pickup range. I am not sure if that applies to everything I'm doing, but it will probably still be pretty helpful anyways. Let's go EMP levels to go for that evolution next. I'll take some energy shield here, I think. We can eventually turn that into a frost ability for even more crowd control. Either that or have it destroy enemy projectiles, but it seems like most of the time I lose now is because I just get completely swarmed by melee enemies and can't move. Electric turret goes with the kunai. So it seems like more crowd control to help with all of the crazy scaling melee enemies is probably the way to go. So we're looking for a medic now. There we go. And then as soon as we get the experiment ability on her, that will start proccing the free shurikens, but we'll need to level it up a bit to get the cooldown down some. Out of these, I guess we'll take electrocution. Decent pickup range to go with our item for ability area. And just farming the meta progression seems very important right now. I've already gotten some very nice boosts just from getting a few levels on some of the characters. Experiment, we need that. And it can either apply chemical or freezing stuff by default. The evolutions for it force you to choose between just one of those, which honestly seems like it might actually be a downside, since then you're losing a few of the tags on the other type and it will get a little bit weaker. But we definitely want to pump that up for the cooldown reduction. And then every once in a while, like right there, you'll see a bunch of shurikens coming out even though they only have one count. That's from the free synergy proc effects whenever the explosion triggers that. Let's go electric turret here, and then probably Hollow Ghost. Experiment is super important, more experiments. Ooh, solar panel, I really like that one. Weapon critical hits have a chance to reduce the cooldown of every ability. Won't do a ton currently, but that'll be very nice later on. Once we get a little bit of crit chance on the weapons, and we get the medic stim pack going to increase our attack speed a bit. So this is the cold evolution. I'm not sure which of these would be better for it. Honestly, it might be best just to banish both of them and never take them. If you get up to 10, you have a chance to perma-freeze enemies, which will then cause you to instantly kill them. I seriously doubt that works on bosses, but I kind of want to try it and see if we can get up to the 10 freeze tags. Actually, that shouldn't be too bad. We're definitely getting at least one from the engineer, and then I think there's a decent one on the ghost as well, so yeah, that should be pretty easy later on. We want the the electric turrets here. There is a freeze conversion for the electric turret, but it massively reduces the AoE of them, which then makes it extremely hard to hit with them. I think it cuts the radius in half, which with how the area of a circle scales actually cuts the total area by 75%, I think. So just imagine 1/4 of these turrets is what it would be after the area reduction if you go for the freezing turrets, so it's pretty hard to hit with those. Probably just going to go with the other evolution for them. So there we go, Flycatcher. I'm not sure how useful taunting will be, but we don't want to reduce the area anyways. Could end up being pretty useful. We'll also have another taunt on the Ghost. I feel like health regen is not that great. Let's banish that. And then probably take a bit of health here. More EMP grenades here. The kunais actually seem pretty strong. Might have to do a build with that at some point where you stack the ability haste on the engineer, so he puts more of the turrets out, and then those fade and summon kunais. Could be kind of cool. And the nice part about that is you also then get more ability haste on the EMP grenade, which then gives even more haste to other abilities. Let's grab the medical drone. That actually sounds pretty good, and I haven't tried it yet. So we take this and then we lock down an upgrade that we never want for military training, and then the other ones will always have a much higher chance of higher quality, I think. That sounds kind of cool. If I remember to use that for the next military training. EMP's getting close to an evolution. That is assuming that it stays in there, locked down. It might have to be locked down every single time, in which case that would just be useless, but we're here to experiment. So here's the EMP stuff. You can either throw 3 with random damage types, or you can reduce the cooldown of a random ability, and since we're trying to get as many shurikens as possible, that's the play here. So we're at 2 out of 4 for the military training currently. More energy shield, I think, here. Getting that one to a pretty high uptime in area is extremely helpful. Man, Ghost got some really nice synergy benefits in this patch. Free kunais and the free shurikens both seem pretty insane. What is that giant circle? That must have been the taunt for the turret spawning, I guess? Let's go... probably energy shield here. Oh yeah, I think it is the turret taunt right as they spawn. Seems to be a larger AoE than the turret itself. More energy shields. Alright, so I want to... yeah, this is the military training. I want to lock down something. And hopefully this will just stay in the shop permanently, giving me extra rarity. And then for the one to take... I'm thinking maybe some attack speed to trigger the item cooldown reduction we just got. And the best attacker out of these 3 is I think the engineer. Once you get his laser weapon, he just constantly shoots stuff with that. In fact, I might not even really need attack speed for it once we get it all the way up. So here's the freezing energy shield. Let's go ahead and grab that. Let's go medical drone. One of the evolutions for that will give you a shield every once in a while, or medical drone. That'll block one instance of damage, and then take a little bit to recharge that. And then while you stand still, it'll also heal you a decent amount. Let's see, 2 to each tag, plus 4 if they're already pretty high. That's quite a few. Oh, I wonder if that has any synergy with that one? Triple the chance of higher quality. I have no idea if this will even work, but I've got to try it and find out. The military training upgrades are pretty strong at high rarity, so if that could consistently get us legendaries for them, that would be kind of nuts. And we are 1 away from seeing another one. Let's get the Hollow Ghost. More taunting. Let's go more medical drone here. So here's the defense one. Every 30 seconds it nullifies 1 damage instance, and it heals a bit more for the region, sure. So we got 3 rares, not sure if that works. Looks like that's still locked. Out of these, I actually don't think ability duration is that strong for us. We're mainly scaling the shurikens and kunais and the experiment explosion. We'll go pick up range for some more ability area. Hollow Ghost is getting pretty close to an evolution. More electrocution here. Weapon cooldown and attack speed, that actually could work with the solar panel. I'm not sure if it's going to be necessary. That's okay. Let's see what else there is. Actually, let's banish something. Ice and electric are pretty good. We do use a lot of slashing though. But that's a lot of electric. Probably see what else there is. 3 of every type. Injured. Nah. Let's banish that. Let's reroll again. Electrify to transfer. Weapon stats. Nah. 2 to fire, ice, electric, and chemical. We use 3 of those. Oh, I guess I'll try that. Does that scale up the movement speed slow as well on those? 19% and 35%, I think so. So we can either go freezing or more electric on them. Kind of want to try more freezing for the perma-freeze based stuff and see how that works out. So we have 2 blues and a common. I feel like XP probably isn't that great. The upgrades for leveling up are pretty weak, so let's go ahead and banish that, and then take some rare survivability. So I'm getting the 2 rares every time, but I don't seem to be getting a lot more than that. So I'm guessing the 2 military training things don't really interact, but we're still at a pretty small sample size, so could change my mind. More electrocution. Electrocution up to level 5, and then we can either add fire or chemical to it. And then it also applies if you get hit, dodge, or parry. I do have some pretty good chemical, so I'm fine to buff that up a bit more. Then here, let's grab a bit of stim pack so that we cast that buff every once in a while. And that will help us reduce our ability cooldowns a bit with the solar panel item. Oh, that guy did die from full HP. That means freezing is absolutely busted. What? I just have an 11% chance to then make enemies die to anything? That seems insane. And then my 3 main damage types are all crowd control too. We stun, and then both of these slow. So eventually we just CC everything until it eventually instantly dies. Let's grab resuscitation now to help prevent one-shots. Let's buff up stim pack a bit. Duration and cooldown at the same time is pretty nice. Explosion, weapon stats, 3 to every damage type tag. We kind of already have a ton with the magical hats. Don't really need weapon stats. Let's banish that. See what else we got. Ooh, 15% chance for ability activation to reduce its next cooldown by half. I like that. Legendary ability damage, we can toss that onto the ghost, since that's where all of our procs are triggering from. Let's go ahead and get stim pack up all the way now. Pulsar's still level 1. Let's go ahead and grab the stim pack. I guess we don't have that many actual frost weapons to hit a ton with. The Huntress would probably be pretty good for that, since you need both a lot of tags and a lot of hits for that. Stores 10% of total health points on injection. I think the other one gives a bunch of armor, which sounds better. We'll go Pulsar now. That's the same healing one, more Pulsar. Pulsar. Full health, critical hit, deals a bit of extra damage, burning enemies, no. I don't think I really care too much here. Let's banish that. Reroll. First banish, Toxified. Attacks against injured enemies, that's kinetic. I am not sure if I'm going to have any kinetic stuff at the end. The ghost weapon is slashing. None of that will be kinetic. This is all going to be electrical, bit of chemical, freezing, explosive. Where's the medic hiding? So this will eventually be either freezing or chemical. So I don't think I'm even going to have injured, although the buffs on that are pretty nice. I think I'm just gonna re-roll here. Toxify, generate larger explosion undead. That sounds kind of cool. Oh, movement adds ability, damage, area, and duration. Yeah, we gotta take that. Same one still, Pulsar. Pulsar Overheat adds fire. I think I want to try the other one that pushes enemies back. So we have a ton of crowd control and that will add even more. We have 2 rares. Crit chance. That's actually kind of hard to get, so we'll grab that, put it on the engineer as a bit of attack speed already. And then he should be able to get a good amount of weapon crits once we get him the upgraded weapon. Still the same one. I guess I'll take a resus level. There we go, 100 armor for its duration, and later on I think we can get this up to 100% uptime as we scale up our cooldown reduction and duration. So 100 armor should give a very nice survivability boost. Let's grab some taser levels to get that attack speed up. And then that'll help all of our ability cooldowns a bit. I don't think I care too much here. That's not terrible. Bit of survivability and huge attack speed. Yeah, I'll take that for now and maybe replace it later if there's something I see that I really like. Legendary crit damage, yup, toss that on Ghost. More taser. Taser. Tesla, so I think this evolution for it causes it to hit all nearby enemies to the target as well. Sort of a chain lightning effect. So that'll make it easier to land crits with that. And then the final level we can turn it into a constantly hitting laser, which should just trigger the solar panel thing on cooldown, I think. As long as we have a bit of crit chance for it. Tesla. More Tesla. Boomer right on top of the chest. Okay, he ran away. That's not bad. We have 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6, 12, and 18. Let's see, do I want any of these? That's okay. Probably replace the shield with that. Yeah, I'm not sure that duration does that much, but area and damage should be pretty good. And we have a lot of different tags for that. More Tesla. Blaster, that's not the one we want. That turns it into a slower attacking AoE. We'll try and finish off the resus now, I think. Legendary attack speed. I guess I'll try it. Toss that onto the engineer. His laser's gonna go kind of nuts now once we get that. There we go, laser. Magazine size 3, cooldown 1.5, but it just constantly blasts people while it's up. Damage and magazine size aren't super relevant, but I guess it's fine. We mainly just want attack speed and crits on it. I don't think I care about any of these. Oh, that's actually nice. 300 points of max HP grants 3% crit chance spread across them. I would probably have to give up the magical hat for that. I think I like everything else here a lot. I guess we will try that then. Give up the magical hats, so less tags on... Oh, actually... We would drop below the freezing thing at 10 tags. And that seems pretty important actually, so I guess maybe we just keep this set up until the end then. I'd have to give up one of the military training things which I'm trying to experiment with here, so probably not. Oh, what we can do is convert the handgun into the freezing blast later on. And then that would probably keep us up there, but we'll take the laser upgrade for now. More laser. That's on the Ghost, which isn't terrible, but let's max out Resuscitation real quick. Decent armor, duration. Duration's okay on some of the engineer stuff, but we're mainly going for Ghost, so let's get a bit more survivability. Then here, we'll take Probably the handgun. Try and get that up to the freezing flasks now. Duration, nah, we'll take more handgun. Has anyone done any weapon-based builds recently in this game? There's all these sick new ability evolutions and synergies, but I think they're all focused on the casted abilities. More handgun here. I don't think we care here. Oh, Gaslighter's actually extremely good. We have 1, 2, 3. We're eventually gonna lose that to 4, so 80% damage. I should probably get rid of these, but I'm not going to. Screw it. We're keeping them. So we have to go syringe gun, I mean, and then eventually that can turn into either the freezing flasks or the antidote flasks. Rare pickup for more AoE. Crit damage on the engineer. Let's go syringe still. Attack speed on Ghost, nah. More syringe. Nah. So we want this for the freezing tag to keep that high. And then now we can swap out the magical hat item if I really want to at some point. Crit chance on the ghost is pretty good, since he's our main source of damage. Decent ability crit chance. I think I will grab that onto the ghost. Let's grab the freezing blast upgrade here. Transfer the effect to nearby enemies might be decent. Could also get a bit of pickup range or movement. Let's try it. It's a bit more crowd control, and we have enough tags to stay above 13 now, right? We need one more level, I think. But I'll go ahead and try that. Yeah, we do need one more level in the freezing blast to keep that at 10. There we go. I think probably level up the katana here. Once you get it all the way to the 1000 cuts evolution, it's actually pretty good at delivering a lot of crits as well. Ability cooldown on medic, that's one of our best. I will grab that. Legendary weapon damage. Let's probably banish that so we don't waste that again. And grab a bit of health. Take the katana level. I don't think we want any of these. Chick magnets pretty good. 30% cooldown when you have a magnet, and then the pickup range to go with the one thing. It might be better than Icon of Tempest actually. Two nice stats that we really want for the build. And this will give us more electrified effect anyways, just from hitting more often. As well as more of the freezing and chemical effects. Let's get a bit more katana here. Cooldown on the ghost is fine, but probably just keep leveling this for now. Actually, ghost is probably the one I would least want the ability cooldown on, since the other two are proccing his abilities with their own. So you've got a bit of double scaling by going for those two. Ability cooldown on the medic. Yup. How's she doing on that now? 50%, which gives 41 total after diminishing returns. Decent ability damage. Could probably use a bit more of that onto the ghost. The nice thing about the freeze effect is it actually makes enemies a lot easier to see exactly where they are. When there's so many effects on screen, I actually have trouble seeing them a lot of the time in the end game. But the freeze is helping a lot with that. That's for the ghost. Probably take the katana level. Chocolate box. I guess we probably should, just to really min-max the build. It'll help a lot with the solar panel. And we do have some decent HP already, so I guess we probably replace bells and whistles. And then we can unlock that one thing. That'll give us a nice amount of crit for both weapon attacks and abilities, and it works on everyone. And you can scale up your survivability at the same time with the HP. Let's go Katana here. Ability for Ghost. Let's go ahead and grab the 1,000 cuts so he can hit a lot more often. Decent ability crit damage, sure. Don't think so. And I think we are probably good now. I could replace the last military training thing with that, but that can give me fun stats like movement speed and pickup for massive ability area. More ability cooldown to proc more stuff. And that thing is just raw damage, even though it's very good. 1,000 cuts. Yep. Engineer, I don't think I care. We'll go crit chance for the ghost. Ability crits, it looks like. rare cooldown reduction. I like that. Onto the medic. Don't care. Max health gives us a little bit of crits, so we can go for survivability and damage at the same time. Also adds consistency to triggering the solar panel. Ghost damage, yup. More ghost damage. They are starting to get very close, so I think we're starting to get to the end of the run now. No. Well, if I'm getting very close, I'm not gonna have a whole lot of these left. So honestly, let's grab the mod chip, trigger the solar panel a bit more with that, and get rid of the rest of our scaling. Grab some more ability damage. Oh, I can unlock that thing, right? Since we don't even have the thing for that anymore. And then put that on Ghost. So we reduce the scaling, go all in, that's for engineer. I guess movement speed, since that gives ability stats for everyone. Since we're probably getting pretty close to the end now. Ghost damage. They're getting very tanky now, even though most of them are perma-rooted. I just don't really have a lot of room to move around anymore. More health, sure. I am really running out of room now. More movement speed. Well, the item probably doesn't really help me. We have basically best in slot for almost everything now, I think. Probably not even worth going for it now. Ability crit damage, yup. Nope. I can't move! None of those seem super impactful. Let's just re-roll that. Pick up for a bit of area, I guess, is fine. Here we can grab ability crit chance. How are my stats looking now? Ghost is at 41% total crit chance, 410% crit damage, 167 area, 147 duration. I don't know if that works on anything. Maybe the Hollow Ghost? I don't think the other ones have durations though. 41% cooldown reduction, but we're mainly going for the Medic's cooldown reduction at 50%. Bit more pickup range. I think the one item that gives you the points when you skip stuff, which I don't think we've seen a single time this run, but with how many chests we're skipping now, that one would have been very strong to give us some extra military training and XP and cash. Probably the only one I was missing here. don't think that really helps me much, especially with the mod chip. That's already going to give me a ton of weapon cooldown, probably all that I need, so let's go crit chance onto the ghost. Not great. I guess a bit of movement speed. Not really great again. Let's reroll that since we're close to the ends. I guess a bit of cooldown on the ghost is fine. Oh, you know what it probably is the Ghost Pulsar knockback combined with the 2 different slows and the stun from the Electrified. So any enemy that can be knocked back and slowed can't even touch me. Just the boss is funneling me into tight spots that I can't really move in. That's the engineer. I guess we'll take that. Nope. Alright, we are definitely running out of room now. Might have been good to get a bit more ability cooldown on the ghost for the extra knockbacks. Not great. I guess dodge or crit. What's this crit at? 30.5? Sure. Pickup range is actually more area than that. I'm not freezing anything. Health gives us crit and HP. Ability on the engineer, yeah, that's pretty good. A lot of crowd control stuff, and then the turrets that fire out kunais at the end. Man, I thought we were about to die when I swapped the military training thing out. Maybe the extra attack speed really did help out with the solar panel. Let's just go for the global area, I think. Armor's pretty good. We have a decent amount of HP to go with that for good survivability, and then... these seem pretty bad. I guess probably just the crit here. That only works on maybe one skill. That freeze on the charge guy. Nope. Okay, I can definitely barely move now. Bosses on all sides, and some guys that aren't getting rooted. And a bunch of exploders as well. Ooh, medic cooldown. Yep. Pick up for the area. I wonder if my damage is just purely from the bleed effect at this point. 10% versus base enemies, 2% versus bosses, and then 21% chance to deal 5 times its normal damage. That's gotta be most of my damage here. Ooh, legendary ability cooldown onto the medic. Bit of armor or engineer, sure. Nope. Oh yeah, the freeze instant kill effect as well. Just deleting that guy from full HP. I guess movement speed? How are those items looking? That one is 120% ability area, and the compass is 30% to damage area and duration. Ability critical damage is pretty good. Actually, that's a lot better, isn't it? Yeah, we have almost half as much of that. Man, it's been like 20 minutes since I could barely even move. How am I still alive? Cooldown for the NG. And it seems like there's like a collection of XP gems on that side of the map every once in a while. I wonder if that's because there's too many out on the map or something? Yeah, there it is again. RNG crit damage or some area. Ghost crit is decent, sure. Health or cooldown reduction, probably the cooler one. Health over medic stuff. It's nice of them to stack up a little treasure pile for me. I don't think I need any of these. I guess duration for her buff? Ability damage, probably. Why does crit chance have diminishing returns? That seems kind of weird. Toss that on the ghost. Oh, ability crit for the ghost. That's pretty good. Probably use some more health. We can scale up plenty of area for all three of them at the same time with pickup radius anyways. So the single target with that's kind of bad. Man, we have got to be maxed on like the specialization levels on these 3 characters after such a long run, right? It actually feels like it's getting easier at this point. Although I'm probably gonna die having just said that. But it feels like my crowd control is getting better and they aren't really getting as close now. Other than the bosses. Then we have the occasional instant kill from the freeze and the percent damage from the bleed. So their HP scaling doesn't do that much. My wrist could really use a break after this though. Steal their treasure, get some, I guess, duration here? The engineer. Legendary attack speed, it's probably not necessary, but oh well. Put that on the Engie. Probably just movement. Sure. They must have capped the enemy movement scaling at a certain point. Because they used to just become so fast you could literally never avoid them. Ghost crit chance, yup. It's kind of insane that an over 1 hour run and we haven't seen the skipping item a single time, even though that's probably the best item for such a long run. I think it would be too late to take it now. Would have given us so many extra military trainings throughout the run. as well as a bunch of XP. Only 4 more danger levels and we'll be pretty nice. Still haven't seen it. Bit of armor. Alright, well, this video is starting to get way too long for YouTube, and it doesn't seem like I can even die if I'm actively playing. I seem to actually be scaling up faster than the enemies. And my wrist needs a rest. Big cooldown reduction onto the medic. So what did she end up at? 67%. Can you see the cooldowns on them? Oh, you can. 6.6 on the experiment, and that triggers the shurikens. And then for the engineer, he is at... Oh, that's the other guy. The turrets are at 6.7 seconds, and those spawn the kunais. And then the grenades at 6.7, and that reduces their random mobility by 15%. The revive thing looks like it might not scale with cooldown anymore. It still says 120 seconds. Her steroid is a 7.3 cooldown with a 9-second duration, so that's easily up for a permanent 100 armor and some movement, attack speed cooldown reduction for the weapons. Yeah, I guess let's see how long we last standing in one place. Dodge the charge and then let some of the trash hit me. This one's going way too long now. Revived, should die any second now. We killed almost all the bosses there still, and the laser's doing a little dance. So can I see the damage breakdown for the different types of damage, like the debuffs and stuff? That would be interesting. We had 165 million on the kunai dance versus 13 on the shuriken, so that seems way stronger. That being said, the shuriken does have bleed from the slashing damage type and would be applying that to everything. So up to 10% max health per second on bosses and up to 50% on regular enemies. And with 10,000 health, that's probably doing a lot of damage. I'm not sure if I can see the bleed damage anywhere though. 76 on the 1,000 cuts with 0 weapon scaling almost. We did have the mod chip to buff that a bit. Engineer, 53 million on the electric turret. That was mainly for triggering the kunai dance though. You can see weapons and abilities. And then if you add those up to 159, 160, So the debuffs must be calculated into the abilities already then, I guess? Either that or it doesn't show under their total damage. Medic, we had 66 million for the experiments, not bad. But that's about all she had. We had a ton of electric, 52% chance to apply it. Decent amount of chemical and ice for some crowd control. Some nice bleeding for all the shurikens and stuff, and then a bit of explosive. Zombie deaths 46,000, 560 million damage. Yeah, I don't see anything for any sort of status effects specifically, although that would be nice to add in. Here's our massive ghost ability stats. Tons of crit and damage, area, duration. I'm not sure those are super relevant on him, but decent cooldown, although we were stacking it more on the other two to proc his abilities. 60.6% cooldown there, and then 67% cooldown for the medic. Very strong damage items. I love the compass, giving a bunch of ability stats based on your movement speed. A little bit there based on the damage tags. Chance to reduce ability cooldowns whenever they're used. Some pickup and ability cooldown there. Some nice crit chance based on the HP, which helps out a bit with the solar panel. Mod ship to trigger that a bit more often as well, and then wrench to stack a ton of ability area based on your pickup radius. So yeah, we did get a ton of levels 20 on the ghost, 18 on engineer, 18 medic. Let's see what that gives in here. So yeah, we got an absolute ton of points for them. I can use some more badges if we're doing other characters. Oh yeah, this one would have been extremely good there. Ability area and duration. Or wait, no. It would have been good for my last ability build, but maybe the area would have been decent there. Not sure on the duration. But we got a ton more points to spend now. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.